Genghis Khan. My descendants are everywhere. Every time Genghis Khan won a war, he took the defeated side's wives and daughters as spoils of war. As a result, his descendants multiplied explosively. According to a 2003 genetic study, about 0.5% of the world's male population, around 16 million people, carry his DNA. In other words, if you're somewhere in Asia and think, do I kind of have a Mongolian look? There's a chance you might have Genghis Khan's blood in you. Genghis Khan. Surrender or I will erase your city. If enemy nations refused to surrender, Genghis Khan massacred entire cities as a warning. One of the most famous examples is his revenge on the Khwarezmian Empire, modern-day Iran and Uzbekistan. After the Sultan of Khwarezm captured and executed his merchants, an enraged Genghis Khan sent his army, leading to Samarkand. The residents were slaughtered. Bokhara, the city was burned down, and the survivors were enslaved. Urgent, so many people were killed that the river was clogged with corpses. His army was skilled at building pyramids of human skulls and wiped out not just enemy soldiers but also women, children, and the elderly. Genghis Khan crushed the nobles and used them as cushions. In 1223, during the Mongol invasion of Russia, Genghis Khan's general, Subutai, captured a group of Russian nobles. The nobles begged, "We are of noble blood, please grant us a bloodless death." The Mongols agreed, saying, "Fine, we won't spill any blood." Then, they laid the nobles down alive on the ground, placed wooden boards over them, and held a feast on top. In other words, the Russian nobles were crushed to death as living cushions for the Mongol banquet. Genghis Khan. The final night of the Western Xia princess. In 1227, Genghis Khan destroyed Western Xia, a kingdom in western China. During the invasion, he ordered, "Bring me the Western Xia princess," and she was taken to his tent. The next morning, her lifeless body was carried out. There are various theories about what happened. She died due to excessive violence. She resisted and was strangled in anger by Genghis Khan. Since the entire Western Xia population was massacred and even their historical records were erased, the truth remains unknown. Genghis Khan. No one must know of my death, Mongol-style cover-up. Genghis Khan died in 1227, but the cause of his death is debated. He fell from his horse and died. He was shot by an arrow during the Western Xia campaign. He exhausted himself from too much time with women. Determined that his enemies must never know his burial site, the Mongols took extreme measures. The funeral procession killed every person they encountered on the way to the burial site. The workers who dug his grave were all executed. Horses trampled over the burial site to erase any traces. As a result, Genghis Khan's tomb remains undiscovered to this day. Genghis Khan. A fortress wall built with a prince's blood. At one besieged city, the Mongols declared, "Surrender, and your lives will be spared." However, the city's leaders chose to resist to the end. This only fueled Genghis Khan's wrath further. After the city eventually fell, the Mongols slaughtered the nobility and soldiers, while the civilians were taken as slaves. It is said that the Mongols mixed the blood of the executed prince and nobles with mud to repair the city's fortress walls. This gruesome act served as a brutal warning to their enemies. Genghis Khan, surviving the battlefield as a boy. Genghis Khan, born Temujin, lost his father to poisoning at a young age. Abandoned by his clan, he lived in poverty and survived by hunting. However, one day, he was captured by a rival tribe and treated like a slave. One night, he seized an opportunity when the guards let their guard down and managed to escape. Afterward, he gathered loyal followers and eventually set out on the path to unifying Mongolia. This experience in his youth sharpened his survival skills and strategic wisdom. Genghis Khan, master of turning enemy soldiers. Genghis Khan was exceptionally skilled at integrating enemy generals and soldiers into his own army. He was not merely a ruthless conqueror, he valued talent regardless of its origin. For example, Jib, a former general of the Khwarezmian Empire, was once an enemy but later became a key commander in the Mongol army after surrendering. Similarly, the renowned general Subutai, who was originally from a different ethnic group, rose to become the Mongol Empire's greatest strategist. By utilizing their abilities, the Mongol army grew even stronger. eventually evolving into the most powerful military force in the world. Genghis Khan. The river turned red with blood. Genghis Khan's army was known for carrying out ruthless extermination campaigns during its conquests. One of the most infamous incidents was the massacre of Nishapur, a city of the Khwarezmian Empire, in 1221. During this battle, Genghis Khan's son-in-law, his daughter's husband, was killed. Enraged by his death, Genghis Khan ordered the complete annihilation of the city's inhabitants. According to historians, over 100,000 residents were slaughtered, and their decapitated bodies were piled up. Furthermore, it is said that there were so many corpses that the nearby river turned red with blood. This was carried out as retribution against an enemy city, but its brutality became a tale retold for generations to come. Genghis Khan, falling off his horse in the middle of battle, a critical moment. Genghis Khan was the ultimate battlefield commander, but even he faced moments of personal peril. One of the most famous incidents was his fall from horseback during the Western Xia campaign. In this battle, Genghis Khan was leading his troops on horseback when he reportedly fell during combat and sustained serious injuries. Some accounts even suggest that this injury contributed to his eventual death. Even the legendary hero of the Mongol Empire learned firsthand that a single mistake on the battlefield could be fatal.